Hello, and thank you for tuning in today. You are currently watching the Tuesday Feels drawing group hosted on this Tuesday morning, Tuesday, August 23rd. Sorry about that, at 10 a.m. My name is Jason Leeser. I am not Ricardo Sturdivant. I'm filling in for him today. And welcome to GuyHSN's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in these live streams, real world events to share and inspire and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every day and with your help have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on-demand tattoo and art shows that have all been receiving rave reviews. You can find us at both the app stores, the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, as well as our YouTube channel and Facebook page, or you can catch the replays on the Roku channel, reinventingthetattoo.com/Roku. Or you can always listen to our podcast at the usual places such as Apple and Spotify. Artists, please make sure that if you want to join in, you click on the link in the events area or the calendar, and you can join in the Zoom to help us create more of a dynamic discussion. As well, if this is your first time joining one of these sessions, you could win a limited run t-shirt. And who doesn't like free t-shirts? As always, you can get the latest event schedule and notifications so you don't miss your favorite shows, all available at the official Reinventing the Tattoo website, www.reinventingthetattoo.com. If this is working for you, please let us know in the comments and in the chats, and please tag a friend who loves tattoos. Maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's another tattoo enthusiast. Send them the link, tell them to check it out. We have a number of weekly staple shows we always encourage people to tune into, starting on Sundays at 1 p.m. with me, Jason Leeser, and the Skill Building Sunday Drawing Group. That's followed on Mondays at 9 a.m. with Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom, where we go through and we discuss some basic drawing techniques and strategies. After that, at 11 a.m. on Monday, we have the Tattoo Weekly, hosted by Lauren Gregory, Jake Meeks, and Gabe Ripley. After that, at 5 p.m. on Monday, we have Let's Talk About Feelings with Robbie Ripple, where we go through and we talk about some of those lesser known topics that, we don't necessarily really like to discuss. And that's how we feel about certain things. Following that on Mondays at 9 p.m., we have a subscriber exclusive drawing group with GuyHSN himself. And artists out there, if you do have a subscription to the Reinventing Evolution package or the Reinventing the Tattoo Canon, you have access to this subscribers exclusive drawing group with Guy every Monday night. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, it's absolutely incredible. You can see a marked difference in the type and quality of work that I've been doing over the past year just by going to these Monday evening drawing groups. It's absolutely priceless. Highly recommend you check it out. Following that, on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m., we have the Tuesday Feels drawing group with Ricardo Sturdivant, who's normally on here. I'm just filling in for today. Following that, on Wednesdays at 1 p.m., we have the TattooNow show, where we take a deeper dive into the business aspect behind tattooing. And Thursdays at 6 p.m., we have the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast with Vaughn Baker and Kyle Bernstein. Absolutely awesome. I'm trying to figure out a day when I can actually jump into that. I don't know. I think it's just because I think Vaughn's such an awesome artist, but that's me. Would like to go through and take a minute to thank some of our sponsors and the people that make this happen. Starting off with Raw Pigments, an ink company that's tapping into the source, rawpigments.co. I've been incorporating a ton of these into my own personal lineup, and I can tell you without a doubt, they are absolutely incredible. If you like to saturate the skin with pure color on your first pass, you've got to pick some of these up. These are no hassle, no fuss, acrylic free, vegan friendly. They are absolutely incredible. They are game changers. Highly recommend you take a look and check them out at rawpigments.co. Next, we have worldtattooevents.com, the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. They're constantly keeping the schedules up to date, as we are living in a post-pandemic world still, and there are still some events that are getting rescheduled like crazy. So for the latest and greatest, most up-to-date convention and event information, take a look at worldtattooevents.com. Dermalize Pro, also known as Dermalize in the rest of the world, protect your art. If you're still using plastic wrap to wrap your tattoos after they're done, maybe it's time to step your game up. Dermalize Pro was designed by wound care specialists designed to specifically heal tattoos. You can't go wrong with Dermalize Pro. TattooNow, technology for tattooers, the leading edge in SEO and professional development for tattooers of all levels, and they are now accepting new clients. So if you're really trying to reach that target audience and you're really trying to attract those clients that you really want to tattoo, this is how you do it. Maybe you're struggling with communication, or maybe you're having problems getting bombarded by 12,000 emails and scheduling, or maybe you don't have a whole lot of shop assistants. Reach out to TattooNow.com. These are the people that help tattoo studios run better. So take a look and reach out to them. And as always, this wouldn't be Reinventing the Tattoo without a very personal and professional thank you and mention of GuyHSN, who you can find at GuyHSN.com. He is the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo. Go to GuyHSN.com where you can pick up a copy of his Biomech Encyclopedia, his DVDs. He's got some custom coil machines, some original oil paintings, and countless prints, all for sale, all at GuyHSN.com. Would like to go through and take a quick second to give a quick shout out to two of our affiliates as well. The Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols and the Fireside Tattoo Network with Jake Meeks. If you are on your quest for information on how to get started into tattooing, take a look at the Apprenticeship Diaries. If you are already a tattoo artist and you're looking for more information on how to step your game up, take a look at the Fireside Tattoo Network. There is a wealth of knowledge there. As always, we always encourage people that if you like these programs, please post a positive review on the channel and help us get the word out. We're always looking for new people to jump in and share their opinions and their thoughts, maybe show off some of the stuff that they're doing. We are always welcoming new people in. So come say hi. We're not going to bite you. Obviously, this is virtual. Come and say hi. You know, share your thoughts, share your ideas, maybe something you're struggling with. We're always willing to help you out. As always, if you would like to host a Reinventing the Tattoo event or become a sponsor of the community, or you're looking for a critique on a work of art or a tattoo, always feel free to email management@reinventingthetattoo.com. And welcome to today's show. Oh, let's see. What do we got here? And I'm going to switch this over. Awesome. And we are joined with, oh, looks like Lauren joined us. And whoa, it's like we're driving, but we're not driving.
You guys see? Not
Beautiful
sure if you
scenery. We got a couple of people in the comments in the YouTube. We've got Creatures Cave. Good morning. Good morning. Skies of Fire. Good morning to you too. We've got Little Nepetiz. Top of the morning, y'all. Top of the morning to you as well. Kyle Olson joined us in the live chat on YouTube. What's up, Kyle? Oh, wait. Was that the infamous Dawn I saw? Fawn, there you are.
What's up, guys? Hey, everybody.
Wow, dynamic duo.
Yeah, we've also got Austin Yancey, another badass tattooer with us, and we are going to show you something amazing. We're right outside of Phoenix. It's for like 2 hours outside of Phoenix.
That is gorgeous. So beautiful. Look at all the trees.
So yeah, this is en route to Hell City 2022 in Phoenix. It's pretty bright out here, guys. We'll do a lot of filming, a lot of booth coverage, a lot of pigments, all sorts of stuff throughout the weekend.
Hell yeah. And that's for the Hell City Phoenix convention, correct?
Correct.
That's awesome.
By Dirk Morrison and his awesome crew.
What was that?
Brought to you by Derb Morrison's awesome crew and him.
Ah, yes. The infamous Derb.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to start setting up today or what they all have to do, but unloading the truck today. Unloading the truck today for most of them.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder how some people, like, whenever they're working at, you know, say an international show or at a foreign destination where they have to fly, like, how do you go through and like move all of the equipment down there? I've never, to me, that it's such like a foreign concept to try to organize all of that.
Yeah, I think that it is really tough, but they're doing it so often. Like they had a nice truck packed up, several pallets, several cases on wheels, you know, but it's incredibly well organized throughout the year from what I've seen.
I've always just thought it was because Derb was a magical creature. So he just like cast a spell and things just appeared.
Derb is a magical creature, but a shout out has to go to Brian Midkiff and Nick Herdman. They're the like AV guys, and Brian helps organize so many things in addition to Jules. But the organization of all the road cases, the simplification of all the electronics, that's all Brian and Nick. I mean, of course, Derb is, you know, has say, but a lot of that has to do with Brian and Nick's dedication. So definite shout out to them. They really make the show run smoothly.
Well, Brian and Nick, thank you for all that you have done and the organization. I always just thought it was Derb being magical, but apparently there's more than that to it.
Part of the magic is the team. Big part.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything's always a team effort though, right? Because we're only individual people and we can only accomplish so much in life. A lot of it comes down to who do we have that we can work with.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
It does. It really, really does. We've got Amber Morgaine with us today on the YouTube as well. What's up, Amber? Amber, we got to configure a drawing painting night because I know you're right out in New Jersey, so it's not too far at all. Yep. So I'll show you guys what I'm working on this morning. So I'm still chipping away at this this Hammerhead Shark. And depending on how this one turns out, and if I can get a really nice frame for it in time, who knows? Maybe I'll be sending it out to be hung up at the Red Tree Gallery, or maybe I'll send it out to someone special I know out in Wisconsin. Who knows? Lauren's muted, so I can't really hear whether or not she's trying to say anything. Or maybe I just lost reception because she's frozen. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, Gabe reached out to me about a field trip to Philly in September. I was trying to get some stuff together. I know September for me is going to be really, really tight. And he was trying to plan like a day trip. I'd like to plan something maybe a little bit more substantial, maybe 2 or 3 days, where we could actually go and see and do a whole bunch of different stuff, as opposed to just like one trip to one place, which you can spend all day in. But anytime you're down to go exploring in Philadelphia, by all means, let me know. I'll be more than happy to show you a couple awesome places. And that goes to anyone out there too. If you guys ever find yourself in the Philadelphia area, reach out to me, let me know. I'll be more than happy to go through and show anyone around Philadelphia, as long as I'm not in the middle of tattooing. And, you know, obviously assuming I have enough advance notice to really plan some stuff out, because like I live and die by my calendar. But yeah, if anyone out there ever wants to take a trip to Philly, see the art museums, take a look at the Muter Museum, the Museum of Medical Oddities, which is absolutely incredible, by the way. I will be more than happy to be your official Philadelphia guide. Yeah, especially if it's right around the time of the Philadelphia Tattoo Convention. I'll be happy to take a couple extra days before and after, take you guys around and kind of show you what's what. You know, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to be the official Philadelphia spokesperson. Can take a trip around to a couple of historic places, such as Philadelphia Eddie's down on South Street, one of the OG tattoo places on the East Coast. There were tons and tons of sailor tattoos done there, you know, in the beginning part of the 1900s. You know, maybe we can even take a day trip up to Coney Island and see where, you know, some of the birthplace of American tattooing started. I've always been under the impression that American tattooing started in, I believe it was like 3 different places: San Francisco, San Diego, and New York, and then kind of started to spread from there. And that's because those were the major ports of call. Now, I may be a little bit wrong on that, but my tattoo history is usually pretty good. Any chance I'm going to the Atlantic City Tattoo Expo in November? I'll be honest with you. If I have time to stop by, I will, but I know November is going to be crazy because I'm going to be heading, if all goes well, I'm heading to Europe in November to go and help a certain someone do a little speech about tattoo pigments. So don't really know if I'll be around at that point, but you never know, I could be. Worst case scenario, I was considering stopping by the Atlantic City show if I am in the country, just to pick up some supplies. But if I do go, I'll definitely reach out. Let's see. Yeah. So I had someone ask me the other day if I had ever worked with graphic markers, Copic markers, and I have, and I really, really like them. To me, there's just something about working with a brush on paper that I just really thoroughly enjoy. I do like Copic markers. I love them. I've used them plenty of times. You can use them just like you're using a tattoo machine to execute a tattoo, which is what I really like about them, because you can layer in the same basic way. And you can blend them kind of the same way, etc. But for me, I just can't, I don't think I'll ever give up my brushes. And I like to do my paintings and drawings like I do tattoos, just because I like to practice. So I'm constantly working in a method where I'm planning things out like I'm doing a tattoo. I'm executing it like I'm doing a tattoo, all for basic practice and repetition. The only difference is I work in a little bit of a backwards way. So I usually like to go through and do all of my black and gray shading first. And then I'll start blocking in the color. And then as the final step, I'll do all the outlines. But with this painting, I'm doing it a little bit differently. And I started out with a couple of outlines. And like the main part I colored in. And now I'm just kind of filling in the background. But typically speaking, I work in the almost like an actual opposite way. Yeah, I'm actually considering starting a couple of big brand new watercolor projects, like massive watercolor projects. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 3 foot by 5 foot, maybe just like a bodysuit or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if anyone would be interested in like picking up a, rather large watercolor painting from me or commissioning me for one, I'd be happy to do that as long as it's done on paper. I prefer to work on paper. I like how it's absorbent. I'm not a big fan of acrylic on canvas, but yeah, I don't know if she ever finished it or not. She might have. Um, I can definitely follow up with her and find out for you about that if you're interested in purchasing it. Um, or like getting prints of it or something like that. But yeah, I'm honestly not positive if it's finished. Then again, my question is a work of art ever truly finished, or do we just get to the point where we no longer want to work on it? Because for me, I can look at stuff that I did years ago that I have framed, that's been framed, that like I would love to go back into it and just like, maybe hit one spot again, or maybe just, crisp this up a little bit more, or maybe fade that out a tiny bit more. But to me, I always get to a point where it's like, I'm done. I have to say I'm done and move on. Otherwise, I'll just keep working on the same thing until it's ruined. So that's just me though. And I've ruined so many paintings that way. It's not even funny. Um, but once again, that's just kind of me. I prefer working in the more aqueous media as opposed to thicker media. Um, I don't know. It's just something I've never really gotten into. I do work in oils sometimes, but that's it's few and far between that I do oil paintings. I'm just not a huge fan of working with them. I think it's because, well, the crazy thing is I say that, but like I work with watercolors like I work with oils, where I build layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, um, to the point that I'm satisfied with the result. I think the major difference is the amount of time that these take to dry. And they're a lot less messy. So that's always a plus. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well today. Today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter than normal just because I do have quite a few things to do. And, I'm just kind of standing in, helping Ricardo out for this morning. So I figure we'll give it another few minutes and see how things are going. And if anyone else decides to jump on, if not, maybe we'll just head out early. Because I really have a lot to do. I'm heading back up to Canada this coming weekend for a couple of days. So that's going to be fun. Unfortunately, I'm not getting tattooed or anything, so that's not going to be fun. But usually whenever I travel, it's because I'm getting tattooed or I'm going to a tattoo convention. Unfortunately, I'm, just heading up there to meet up with some family. So, well, maybe not unfortunately, because I love my family and I enjoy hanging out with them, but you know, it's kind of out of the norm for me. Yeah. Yeah. So what I started doing, Amber Morgan just made a comment. I'm relearning watercolor after 20 years. So what I usually work in isn't technically watercolor, it's liquid acrylic. And the reason why I prefer that is because when it dries, it's permanent. You don't have to worry about anything lifting like you do with real watercolor. So it's nice to be able to go through, lay something down in a thin layer, do like a wash of it, and then you can paint right over top of that, just like you would with a tattoo, believe it or not. And you can add color right over top and still see that nice dark layer underneath. So it's really nice in that aspect. Plus, I find that liquid acrylic is actually a lot more light fast and will last a lot longer in a frame than watercolor. So just to give you a heads up, if you are considering, you know, working with it. I know certain artists out there like working with pan watercolor and tube watercolors, and more power to them. I need something a little bit more permanent that I can layer with, as opposed to going through and having to worry about the lifting of the color and all that stuff. Because when you go to lay down like a wash over a wash, if you're doing wet on dry, which is what I usually do, there's a risk that any of that dry paint is going to lift right back up off the paper, and you can end up ruining the spot if you were trying to layer color over top of it. So just be forewarned about that. But with liquid acrylic, you don't have to worry about that. So that's why I use it. Yeah, I'd love to do this as a tattoo on someone. Who knows? Maybe I'll post it up for grabs once it's finished. We'll see what ends up happening though. Unfortunately, this style of art isn't exactly the most in demand where I work, so kind of stinks. But you know, that's okay. For those people out there that are serious about it, maybe they'll pick it up. Or worst case scenario, someone can just buy the painting off of me. Why not? Have I ever done photorealistic work? Yes, I have. I'm not a big fan of it, but to bounce off of your comment, have you the ability and talent to do that well is baffling to me. It is baffling. My question is this: if it's an original concept and an original sketch, right? An original idea, and you're not working off of a photo reference, it's incredible. Absolutely unbelievably phenomenal. To be able to accurately recreate something in that manner, it's astounding. However, what you see a lot of people doing nowadays is, instead of going through and creating original images, and I know quite a few artists out there that have based an entire career on it. Don't get me wrong, it does take a lot of talent to be able to accurately recreate something in a realistic way. It absolutely does. And it requires knowing your materials, knowing your knowledge, and then being able to accurately reproduce, knowing the outcome and how things are going to settle in. That is absolutely 100% correct. However, what you start to find is that a lot of people out there that are doing a lot of these realistic representational images, especially in the tattoo world, they're just found images. You know, you can Google search whatever and pull up that exact photo that they photoshopped in with something else to create the piece. You know, so it's kind of like just becoming a Xerox. you know, and it's like at that point in time, how are you originally creating a work of art? Me personally, I would like something that never existed before, right? Whenever I get tattooed, I want something original. I want something that was hand drawn, that was, you know, that did not exist before me. That's what I look for personally. You know, I do appreciate the amount of skill that realism has, but unless that image was never existed, like if it was an original photo that someone took at the zoo, or they went on vacation and they found this really cool rock and they took a photo of the rock, right? Or it was a sunset, or it was, you know, someone that they had met in real life and that's what they wanted on them. And that photo only exists with that person. Cool. By all means, do it 100%. But that's just me. That's my own opinion. You know, that's why I try to gravitate more towards the illustrative style. And I find that there's just as much skill and there's just as much ability and talent that goes into creating something that never existed before. There's just as much involved in that as there is with, you know, recreating an image or duplicating an image. So once again, that's my 2 cents on it. And I'm not trying to knock realism artists. There is an absolute skill involved in that. For me, I just prefer to gravitate towards something that, you know, was created out of a mind. You know, something that is unique, something that was not around before that artist created it. That's me. That's my own opinion. That's my own 2 cents. That's just kind of what I gravitate towards. You know, like take a look at what's the Norman Rockwell, for example, right? Incredible artist. Did a lot of realism stuff, did a lot of like very representational, very realistic illustrations. But those illustrations did not exist until he created them. Those scenes did not exist until he created them. You know, to me, I would rather get, personally speaking, I would rather get tattooed by someone like that than someone that, you know, just works off of a photograph. You know, to me, it always takes like another level of talent to be able to create something realistic from nothing than it does to work off of something that already existed and now you're just replicating that on skin. But that's, once again, my own 2 cents. And on that note, I think we're going to give it another couple of minutes, and then I'll probably head out and wrap up for the day. Still have to go by the bank later. I'm bringing a new piece of furniture into the studio, so that's going to be fun. We just had a new artist that started at the studio I work with, named Mike. Mike, welcome aboard. I highly doubt you're watching right now, but if you are, welcome aboard. I'll buy you lunch today. So it's always nice when you get to work with new people and get new perspectives and new ideas. That's part of the reason why I enjoy hosting these sessions, because to me, it gives me a chance to expand my horizons. You know, I know for a fact I don't know everything. Not saying I don't know a lot, but I don't know everything. And I can acknowledge that. And some of the things I do know are wrong, and that's okay. It's okay to acknowledge the fact that we're not always right. That's what makes us human. And anyone out there that has to be right all the time, do yourself a favor and try to stay away from those people. Just trust me on that. No good's going to come from it. You know, the ability to admit our mistakes and admit our faults, that's what makes us you know, that's what makes us human. It's what makes us grown-ups. Although we are tattoo artists, so I don't know if we really qualify as being grown up, but cool. And little nepotiz, if you really look at photorealism and breaking that down, all it really is shapes. Take a look at shapes. Look at the shapes that are formed from the various tones, and that's all it really is. When you break it down like that, it's pretty easy. You're basically just coloring in different shapes. As one really well-known photorealism artist I know said to me once, he's like, dude, make it a color by number. You know, pick out five or eight values, or 5 to 10 values, figure out where those shapes are. And if you have to, put like little numbers in them. And then that way, you know what value goes where. He's like, and by the time you're done, it's color by number. Have I ever painted something from a dream that I've had? Do you know of any famous pieces that were created from images that the artist dreamt about? I do. Look at a lot of Salvador Dali's stuff. A lot of his stuff was in his mind that came from sleep deprivation, that he would stay up for so long that he would actually start hallucinating. And a lot of those hallucinations are coming from the subconscious, same place dreams come from, right? So take a look at a lot of Salvador Dali's stuff. Boom, right there, there's dreams. The problem that you get is that unless you wake up and you have that kind of memory where you can remember that dream in such vivid detail, most people within an hour after waking up have completely forgotten what they dreamt about. So that's the bigger challenge there, is how do you go through and figure and remember that dream, right? You can write it down in as many descriptions and in using as many words as you can, but you're still going to forget parts of it. So just, it's difficult. Have I ever done that? No. I like to plan my stuff out, and I like to, every painting that I do, every drawing that I do has a specific focus. And it's so that I can work on to improve certain things with everything that I do. You know, whether it's brush control using lines, whether it's an exploration of a different surface, whether it's figuring out whether or not I like a certain type of paint or trying out a new brush. I go into everything I create with a very specific reason and purpose behind it. Until I got to the point that I'm feeling comfortable with a medium, to the point that I can really just focus on putting thought and concept into it, then I'm going to keep doing that. And if I get to that stage, I'll be happy to let you know and show you some things I came up with. But there's usually a reason and a purpose behind it. And because I do paint and draw slower than the average artist, for me personally, I have to do a lot more planning into it, so I can't be quite as spontaneous. And on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for stopping by today. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch up with you again this coming weekend. So until then,